You think your cruise line will warn you if a port disappears? It won't. One stop on your European itinerary is already gone, pulled weeks ago, quietly, and they're counting on you not noticing until you're standing on the gangway. Before I reveal which ports got banned, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Cannes, France, January 2026. New rule: any ship carrying over 1,000 passengers is locked out, plus a hard cap of 6,000 total visitors per day. Most mainstream cruise ships carry 3,000 to 6,000 passengers. Every single one of them is now banned, and Cannes was already a tender port, so even a normal visit means anchoring offshore and taking a shuttle boat that can eat 90 minutes round trip. Now stack the passenger cap on top. You either don't dock at all, or you get a rushed 3-hour window that barely covers lunch before you're back on the tender. So what are cruise lines doing about it? Swapping Cannes for industrial ports nobody booked, extending sea days, and the move that should genuinely make you angry. Some lines still print Cannes on the itinerary with a tiny asterisk that reads, "Technical call." The ship stops, you never get off, and it doesn't end at Cannes. Nice and Villefranche just imposed a 3,000 passenger cap, one large ship per day. Only 15 visits a month in peak season. 2 ships booked the same day, one loses. The loser gets too long. A cargo dock 90 minutes from the French Riviera you actually paid for, and Cannes is the mild one. Barcelona is the busiest cruise port in all of Europe. Over 3 million passengers every year, and in 2026, the city demolished 3 of its 7 cruise terminals, A, B, and C, to build one replacement. The catch? That replacement doesn't open until 2030 at the earliest, so 4 terminals are now doing the work of 7. Daily capacity dropped 16% overnight, from roughly 37,000 passengers to about 31,000. On heavy port days, some ships simply can't dock. Cruise lines know this. They sell Barcelona as a guaranteed stop anyway. Get bumped and you're diverted to Tarragona, a smaller port with none of Barcelona's energy, architecture, or food, or you get a sea day and a shrug from guest services. And even when you do dock, lines are quietly compressing your Barcelona hours. Arrive at 10 a.m. instead of 8. Leave at 4 p.m. instead of 6. You paid for a full day in one of Europe's greatest cities. You got 6 hours and a rush taxi back to the terminal. Valencia drew the simplest line of any port in Europe. 5,000 passengers or more. Banned. Longer than 985 feet. Can't dock. And there are only 2 berths in the entire port. Carnival already wiped Valencia off its itineraries completely. Other major lines are quietly following. If your ship is Oasis class, XL class, or Breakaway Plus, you are never docking there. No matter what your booking confirmation says, the replacement is almost always Palma de Mallorca. Different city, different island, completely different day. You spent weeks planning Valencia, the city of arts and sciences, where to eat paella. Now you're in Palma with zero preparation, because the cruise line made the swap without asking you. Amsterdam slashed cruise visits to 100 per year. The old number was 190. Half the calls. Gone. If your ship isn't one of the lucky 100, and most aren't, you don't dock at Passenger Terminal Amsterdam in the heart of the city. You get Rotterdam. And from Rotterdam, Amsterdam is a 45-minute train ride. Your time, your money, your problem. And the city council isn't finished. They're debating shutting the central cruise terminal entirely by 2035. If that passes, and momentum is building, Amsterdam as a cruise destination is finished. Here's the part nobody mentions. Rotterdam is absorbing these displaced ships faster than it was ever built for, and Rotterdam's own government is already debating whether to restrict cruise ships too. When that second domino falls, your Amsterdam cruise becomes a Rotterdam cruise with no Amsterdam in it at all. Quick gut check before we keep going. Pull up your own itinerary right now. If any of these ports are on it, do not click away, because Port 7 is the 10-minute check that saves your money and gets it refunded. This one is different. It doesn't change a port. It kills the entire reason you booked the cruise. January 2026. Ships that don't meet strict new emission standards are legally banned from Norway's UNESCO-protected fjords. That includes Geiranger Fjord and Narøy Fjord, the 2 most famous fjord sailings on the planet. The ones on every Norway cruise ad, the towering granite walls, the waterfalls crashing down both sides. That is why you paid. Older ships and anything still burning heavy fuel oil, banned. No exceptions. No grandfather clause. Some lines built entire seasons around these fjords. Every itinerary, every brochure, every promo video, and passengers are now discovering their fjord cruise doesn't enter a single fjord. They get rerouted to coastal towns with a view of some water, not 3,000-foot walls, not waterfalls, a dock, and a souvenir shop. The cruise line knew this when you booked. The emission rules were announced years in advance. They sold you the fjords anyway. Santorini, the white buildings, the blue domes, the sunset that launched 1 million Instagram posts. It is drowning in cruise passengers. And 2026 is the year it started fighting back. Santorini now caps daily cruise visitors by total headcount, not by ship, by individual human bodies stepping onto the island. Show up on a day when 3 other ships are already there, and your port call gets cut or pulled entirely. The island was built for a sleepy fishing village, not thousands of people pouring off ships every morning. The cable car handles maybe 600 people an hour. The narrow streets bottleneck instantly, and the locals have had enough. And Santorini is not alone. Dubrovnik is cutting ship permits on the same model. Venice is tightening further. Some lines already moved embarkation from Venice to Trieste, an industrial port 2 hours away by bus. Italy is debating cruise taxes and passenger caps at multiple ports at once. This isn't 7 isolated cases, it's a wave. European cities are racing to push cruise ships out, not welcome them in. The itinerary you book today may not exist 6 months from now. 3 things you can act on today. 1. Before you book anything, check your ship's passenger count against each port's published limit. This takes 10 minutes. Search the port name plus 2026 cruise restrictions. If your ship carries 5,000 and can caps at 1,000, you already have your answer. Don't wait for guest services to break it to you on day 3. 2. This is the clause I promised you at the start. Your cruise ticket contains a port substitution clause buried in the fine print, usually section 14 or 15. Read it carefully. Any significant itinerary change opens a legal window, usually 7 days from the notice, to claim a full refund under the material change provision. But that window only opens if you know the clause exists. Most passengers never read it. Now you have. 3. Book with the assumption that at least one port will change. That's not pessimism. It's just cruising in 2026. Research a backup plan for every port. You'll either be pleasantly surprised when it all goes smoothly, or you'll be the one person on the ship who isn't screaming at guest services.
We are starting at the top, rank number 1. And this isn't just a warning. It's a closure in everything but name. For years, Labadee, Haiti was the crown jewel of Royal Caribbean. A private peninsula, fenced, guarded, marketed as perfectly safe. Zip lines, beaches, private security everywhere. But outside that fence, Haiti was collapsing. By late 2024 and throughout 2025, gang violence and political instability reached a point that could no longer be ignored. The U.S. State Department now lists all of Haiti as Level 4, Do Not Travel. That is the highest warning level that exists. It doesn't mean be careful, it means do not go. Even though Labadee itself is heavily secured, the situation around it has become too unstable. Cruise lines don't want the liability. Insurance companies don't want the risk. So sailings are canceled, ports are skipped, and itineraries are quietly rerouted. If you see Labadee on a 2026 itinerary, do not get attached. There is a very high chance it will become a sea day instead. Number 2 is a tragedy for anyone who remembers cruising in the 80s and 90s. Acapulco, Mexico. This was once the glamour port, movie stars, cliff divers, the love boat era luxury. Today, Acapulco sits inside the Mexican state of Guerrero, and Guerrero is under a full U.S. State Department do not travel advisory due to crime and kidnapping. Some cruise lines still dock here, and that's where travelers get trapped. The tourist zone looks safe, heavily policed, controlled. But step just 2 blocks outside that zone or take the wrong taxi, and you are in cartel territory. This is not a port for independent exploration. If your ship stops in Acapulco, you have 2 smart options. Take a ship-sponsored excursion or stay on board and enjoy an empty ship. This is not the day to wander and see what happens. Number 3 is a bucket list destination with a secret many first-timers don't expect. Colón, Panama. You go here for the Panama Canal, and the canal is incredible, but the city of Colón itself has one of the highest crime rates in the region, and here's a telling detail. Crew members, people who travel the world for a living, often refuse to get off the ship in Colón. Muggings and snatch-and-grab robberies happen right outside the port gates. This isn't cartel violence. It's desperation. Do not walk into town. Do not wear jewelry. Do not flash phones or cash. See the canal. Get back on the ship. That's the safe play here. Number 4 is heartbreaking because it is stunningly beautiful. Roatan, Honduras. Yes, the island is safer than the Honduran mainland, but that creates false security. You relax, you drop your guard, and that's when problems happen. If you dock at Cox and Hole, the pressure starts immediately. Aggressive vendors, unregulated taxis, isolated tour routes. There have been armed robberies of tour buses and tourists on remote beaches. The rule for Roatan is simple. Stay with crowds. Use certified tours. This is not the place to rent a scooter and explore. Number 5. You know it. You love it. Montego Bay, Jamaica. Jamaica frequently sits at level 3. Reconsider travel. The issue here isn't just crime. It's persistent aggression toward tourists. No is not always accepted. Outside resort zones, harassment can escalate quickly. And if you engage with the wrong person selling party favors, situations can turn dangerous fast. Stay in resort areas and ship excursions, and you'll have a great day. Wander into neighborhoods alone, and you are on your own. Number 6 is Belize City, not the jungle, not the ruins. The city. The cruise port is a walled tourism village with armed guards for a reason. The south side of Belize City has serious gang activity. This is dangerous only for the DIY traveler. Book a cave tour or Mayan ruins, and you're perfectly safe. Try walking into town from the port, and you are taking unnecessary risk. There is nothing to see there that is worth it. And finally, number 7. The most controversial port on the list. Nassau, Bahamas. It's listed as level 2. Exercise increased caution. And the danger here is complacency. Because everyone goes to Nassau, people stop paying attention. Petty theft, tourist scams, unregulated jet ski operators. The U.S. Embassy has issued warnings about assaults near the fish fry area and on isolated beaches. Nassau isn't Florida. Treat it differently. Front pocket your wallet. Skip the jet skis. Stay in well-lit areas. Cruising is still one of the safest ways to travel. If you're smart, this video isn't here to scare you. It's here to stop you from becoming a statistic. If you want to know which cabins to avoid so you can actually sleep on your next cruise, click this video right here. I'll see you there.
Every cruise promises a dream vacation. But what if your next port stop is hiding something dangerous? While most travelers picture white sand beaches and fruity cocktails, some destinations come with serious warnings. We're not talking about mild inconvenience here. We're talking about level 3 and even level 4 travel advisories from the U.S. State Department. Yes, the same ports your cruise line cheerfully promotes are also flagged for gang violence, kidnappings, and organized crime. And here's the kicker. You might never know, unless you do your homework. In this video, we're diving into the 7 most dangerous cruise ports frequently visited from the U.S., and we're not just naming names. You'll hear what makes them risky, what the government says about them, and exactly how to protect yourself if your ship docks there. This isn't to scare you away from cruising. It's to help you travel smart. Ready to find out which ports made the list? Let's get into it. First up is Belize City, located along the Caribbean coast of Central America. Over 615,000 cruise passengers visited Belize last year alone. But here's what most of them didn't know. The U.S. State Department has Belize City under a level 3 travel advisory, which means reconsider travel. Their exact words? U.S. citizens should avoid traveling to Belize City. Why? Gang activity. While the secure cruise port itself is generally safe, you step just a few blocks outside, and you're in territory flagged for serious crime. Tourists who wander off alone have ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time. Even daytime strolls into the city are strongly discouraged without local guidance. So what should smart cruisers do? Option 1. Book an official excursion through your cruise line. These are vetted, safe, and well managed. Option 2. Stay inside the gated port area and enjoy the shops and scenery. Option 3. Honestly, just stay on the ship. You're not missing much, and safety comes first. Belize may be beautiful, but it's also one of those ports where a wrong turn could ruin your vacation. Now let's talk about Jamaica, a stunning island paradise south of Cuba and a wildly popular stop for Caribbean cruises. Last year, over 1.6 million passengers cruised to Jamaica. But while the beaches are breathtaking, the reality on shore isn't always so pretty. The U.S. State Department currently gives Jamaica a level 3 advisory, That means reconsider travel. And here's where it gets even more serious. US government personnel are banned from traveling to certain parts of Jamaica entirely. Why? Rampant gang violence, unpredictable crime, and an alarmingly high murder rate, some of the worst in the Western Hemisphere. Even all-inclusive resorts, which many consider safe bubbles, aren't immune to incidents. Sexual assaults have been reported in places people assume are secure. Now, here's where it matters to you. There are 5 cruise ports in Jamaica. Some are better than others. But in general, this is not a place to go off exploring on your own. Cruise ports are usually secure, but once you step outside that perimeter, it's a different story. Booking excursions directly through the cruise line is the safest move. They know which areas are safe and which aren't. Sure, Jamaica has its charm, but smart cruisers know that safety isn't something to gamble with. Don't let a paradise postcard blind you to a very real risk. Welcome to Mazatlan, Mexico, a vibrant Pacific port with serious baggage. On the surface, it's a colorful, festive destination. But beneath the palm trees and mariachi bands lies a Level 4 U.S. travel advisory. That's the government's highest warning. Do not travel. So why are cruise ships still going there? Simple. The cruise industry heavily vets its routes. They wouldn't dock somewhere outright unsafe, but that doesn't mean you should let your guard down. Mazatlan sits in Sinaloa, a state notorious for cartel activity. The U.S. State Department warns of violent crime and kidnapping, not exactly the kind of adventure you signed up for. Now, many cruisers still go, and even love it. But the key difference? They stick to the port, or take excursions through the cruise line only. Wandering off independently into Mazatlan's streets? That's when the risk spikes. Because while the port is protected, a wrong turn inland can put you in a completely different world. You don't want to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, especially when help might be miles away and communication is limited. Mazatlan may be beautiful, but beauty doesn't always mean safety. Haiti might sound exotic on your cruise itinerary, but don't let the beach views fool you. This Caribbean nation is currently under a Level 4 U.S. travel advisory. That's as serious as it gets. Do not travel. Why? Because Haiti is dealing with severe crime, political unrest, and widespread kidnapping. It's not just unsafe, it's unstable. Even U.S. government employees are barred from traveling there. But here's the twist. Your cruise may still stop in Labadee, a private resort area owned and operated by Royal Caribbean. It's fenced off, guarded, and completely separated from the chaos beyond. So you step off the ship, and it feels like paradise. But what you're seeing isn't the real Haiti. It's a controlled bubble designed for tourist safety. Now, within Labadee, you're fine. Enjoy the cabanas, the beaches, the zip lines, all of it. Just don't mistake that comfort for the reality that lies outside the fence. Cruisers aren't allowed to leave Labadee freely. And honestly, that's for the best. Because stepping beyond the secured zone isn't just risky. It could turn your dream vacation into a nightmare with no easy way back. So if you see Haiti on your cruise schedules, just remember, you're not really seeing Haiti. And that's probably a good thing. You've seen the stunning beaches, lush rainforests, and colorful carnivals. But Trinidad and Tobago hides a much darker reality. This island nation in the southern Caribbean draws over 125,000 cruise passengers a year. Yet it carries a Level 3 U.S. travel advisory. Reconsider travel. Why? Because the threat here isn't just crime. It's terrorism and kidnapping. Yes, terrorism. According to the U.S. State Department, attacks on tourist sites could happen without warning. Much of the violence is driven by gang activity, especially in and around urban areas. And it's bad enough that U.S. government staff are prohibited from traveling to large parts of the country. If you're visiting Trinidad or Tobago on a cruise, know this. The port zones are relatively secure. But venturing out on your own? That's where the real risk begins. Stick to cruise line excursions, stay in high traffic areas, and if something feels off, trust your gut. Because in Trinidad and Tobago, danger doesn't always come with a warning sign. It hides in plain sight, beneath the sunshine and steel drums. Colombia may look like paradise from the deck of a cruise ship, but step off the ship, and you're stepping into a country with a volatile reputation. In 2023, more than 170,000 cruise passengers visited Colombia, drawn by its vibrant culture, stunning coastlines, and colonial cities. But behind that postcard-perfect view lies a country with a Level 3 U.S. travel advisory. That's reconsider travel. The risks: crime, terrorism, unrest, kidnapping. Colombia's long-standing ties to drug cartels and guerrilla activity mean danger isn't just a rumor. It's a reality. Even major port cities like Cartagena are not immune. Petty crime is common, but so are reports of armed robberies and express kidnappings. The U.S. State Department warns that tourists can be targeted, especially if they wander beyond popular zones or act like easy marks. If you're cruising to Colombia, join a cruise-sanctioned excursion, travel in groups, and keep your valuables and attention close. Because Colombia is breathtaking, but it's also unpredictable. Here's the truth. Cruising is still one of the safest, most relaxing ways to travel. But the moment you step off that ship, you're no longer in the safety bubble. Ports may look picture perfect, but every destination comes with its own set of risks, rules, and red flags. Some cruisers let their guard down the second they see palm trees. That's when trouble strikes. Lost passports, scams, theft, even worse. So here's what smart travelers always do. They research the port ahead of time, stick to well-reviewed excursions, and never assume that just because it's a cruise stop, it's safe. If you're not sure about a place, don't wing it. Ask questions, read reviews, talk to your cruise line, and when in doubt, stay on board. That's not a missed opportunity. It's a smart decision. Before we go, what's the sketchiest port you've ever been to? Drop it in the comments. Your story could help someone else stay safe. If you found this video helpful, give it a like. And don't forget to subscribe for more insider cruise tips. Until next time, stay smart, stay safe, and keep cruising like a pro.